They say the smell of Mama Akanni's Akara could wake even the ancestors from their sleep. Before dawn, when the moon still lingered and the cock had not yet found his voice, a golden light always burned from the corner of Odo village. There, Mama Akanni stood, her thick arms glistening with sweat, turning her bubbling Akara in oil so fragrant that children followed it as if enchanted. People came from far and near, travelers, traders, even chiefs, to taste her Akara, and every time she served a customer, she whispered softly into her pot, "May your hunger never be empty, as my pot is never dry." For you see, that pot was no ordinary pot. Years before, when Akanni was young and kind, she had once fed an old beggar woman who was shivering by the roadside. The woman revealed herself as a messenger of the river goddess, Osun, and in gratitude, she gave Akanni a gift, a clay pot filled with golden oil that would never run dry, so long as it was used with love, patience, and peace in the heart. The goddess had warned her, "This oil shall bless your home, but mark this, Akanni, never use it in anger, or your blessings will burn to ashes." And so, Akanni prospered, but blessings can breed both gratitude and envy. Akanni had only one child, a daughter named Dunni, as beautiful as the sunrise and as restless as the wind. From childhood, Dunni hated the smell of Akara oil clinging to her clothes. She hated waking up early, hated seeing her mother's hands blackened with soot, and most of all, hated hearing villagers praise her mother instead of her. "Why must I sell Akara like a market woman?" she would often sneer. "I want to wear fine wrappers, not smell like beans and fire." Akanni would sigh and smile softly. "My child," she would say, "the hand that feeds others never lacks, the fire that warms your neighbors never goes cold." But Dunni's heart was stubborn. She dreamed of gold and city life, of men who wore shoes that shone like mirrors and women who didn't sweat by a roadside fire. Still, her mother's stall thrived, and the pot kept bubbling. One market day, a wealthy trader from Ibadan stopped by Akanni's stall. He tasted her Akara and nodded in delight. "Woman," he said, "your hands carry blessings. Name your price, I will buy 1,000 pieces for my feast." The crowd murmured in awe, and Dunni's eyes lit up. Her mother bowed humbly. "Thank you, sir. The Akara will be ready by morning." But that night, when her mother slept, Dunni's greed whispered to her, "If the oil never runs dry," she thought, "then why should I wait for her to sell Akara in crumbs? I can make more, sell more, and keep the money for myself." She crept into the kitchen, lit the fire, and placed the magical pot on it. The oil shimmered like liquid gold. "Let me show them who the real businesswoman is," she muttered. But as she scooped her first spoon of batter, her mother's words echoed faintly in her memory, "Never use it in anger." Dunni hissed and stirred faster. "What does an old woman know of riches?" she snapped. The oil hissed back. The pot began to bubble violently, spilling oil over the fire. The flames rose, licking the walls. Dunni screamed as hot oil splashed her arms. The more she tried to control it, the wilder it grew, as though the pot itself was angry. Then, from the doorway, a trembling voice called out, "Dunni, what have you done?" It was Akanni. Her face pale with horror, without hesitation, she grabbed the pot with her bare hands. The oil roared like thunder. In that moment, she whispered a prayer, "Osun, take my life, but spare my child." The fire died instantly. The oil cooled, but Akanni fell to the ground, motionless. When dawn came, the villagers found the market silent. Smoke curled from the ashes of Akanni's stall. Dunni sat in the dust, her mother's lifeless body in her arms, her own hands covered in blisters. The pot lay beside her, dry for the first time in memory. No oil, no fire, no aroma of Akara, only grief. For days, Dunni refused to eat or speak. When they buried her mother, she placed the empty pot beside her grave, whispering through tears, "Mommy, I have burned your blessing with my foolishness. If I could give my hands to bring yours back, I would." Years passed. Dunni never married. She became a quiet woman, known for feeding orphans and travelers, frying Akara not for money but in remembrance. She used no magical pot, only her tears and her prayers. And though her Akara was never as famous as her mother's, Those who ate it said something mysterious. There is sorrow in its taste, but also forgiveness. It is said that, sometimes, when the dawn mist hangs low over Odo village, people smell Akara frying though no stall is open, and they hear a voice whisper on the wind, "Use your gifts with love, not anger." And mothers still tell their children the tale of Akanni and Dunni, the Akara seller, and her wayward daughter, to remind them that blessings are like oil. They shine only when your heart is calm.